being hogged by some teenagers who are trying to attempt school. So, so good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our, do I have the wrong slides up? Our school closure webinars. Apparently I have the middle school ones up. Nope, I just forgot to change the front. It's going to be that kind of day. Just ignore the front slide that says high school. That says middle school. I can't. I think we announced last week we have a new hashtag for our social media. Please, 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 when you are tweeting, use hashtag PBCSD Virtual School Library. We are trying to make sure that all of curriculum sees your tweets and they are following this hashtag. So this will help them see the amazing things that are going on in our virtual libraries. We know it's long. If you only want to tag library current, we totally get it. It's awesome. Fine. Use the hashtag. We're going to be using these two documents today. They're two different Padlets. And I will copy and paste the link in the chat because they are long and I didn't have a chance to do Bitly's. There we go. And there's the links to them. And we would love you to share your tips for creating a virtual library and to share your virtual library with us because we are curating them on a site that we're going to share with the upper leadership of the district so they can see all the amazing things that you're doing. Sometimes we sort of become invisible and we don't want to be invisible because you guys are doing so much for our kids and we don't want it to be invisible work. If you haven't seen, Mac and Via has more ebooks. They are releasing the Lightbox books. Those were available also through Follett. We have seen they're really good titles, but some of the issues with them are that they link out to sites that can be somewhat, not questionable, but not the most academic. So just take that with a grain of salt and with that caveat, but you may want to put them out there for your kids. Easier to curate them in Mac and Via than with Follett. That is for sure, because we could curate them within the Mac and Via platform. With Follett, it's just a username and a password. But either way, the books are there and available, and you might want to push them out to your kids. Junior Library Guild has a digital subscription that is free during the closure. They are rotating the books. It is their streaming service. And if you only want them to get the high school books, send them to this website, and that will make sure that they only get the high school books. And this is the username and the password. Otherwise, you could go here for the full explanation, and they can have access to all of them, particularly since your kids are high school. Nothing is going to be objectionable for them. Deb, I don't know how often they're rotating the books. I just saw that they are rotating some off, some on. Okay. There were some really good titles on there. Yeah, so definitely get this out to your kids. It's worth putting out there. There have been some really phenomenal titles for them, frontline fiction, as opposed to some of the stuff that's being released as free. This is real frontline fiction.
Well, and I think simultaneous users also, which is good.
Absolutely. It's and that's going to solve a lot of problems for your teachers, but we don't have a schedule for how they're rotating them, when they're rotating them. There is a section that says that are getting ready to say goodbye. So those ones we know will be exiting the platform soon. All right, so early on in the school closures, the American Association of School Librarians did a survey about the school librarian's role during school closures, and they captured data. And I wanted to share some of it with you guys. And what we've seen is that Palm Beach County is responding pretty much the same way people are across the nation, but we are at the upper end of that curve. We really got it, we did it, and we're doing a phenomenal job. But you can see that that the problems that we have in Palm Beach County are the same problems that they're having across the country. Only less than 50% have full access to technology for their personal use. 25% have shared access, and another 22% have access through a mobile device, which we all know is not ideal. And fully 22% of the kids across this country don't have reliable access or any access at all to technology. And this is a problem in the closure, and it's really one Palm Beach County has been working hard to solve, but some things are insurmountable, like the areas that don't have Wi-Fi and they're not wired for Wi-Fi. And we're working hard to solve that problem, but it is an issue, and it is an issue across the country. We're definitely seeing that digital divide and the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Just a response, activities in response to the closure, almost 86% are expanding online resources. Little over 80% are available with email, phone, and chat. Most are extending their checkout period. Some are offering virtual classes, and very few are offering delivering resources on foot. Deb, you are way ahead of the curve. And offering alternative checkout procedures. We're not saying that you should start going to school and checking out books, but expanding those digital resources and the resources we can give our kids is the best thing we can do for them. Librarians are making themselves available to students in a variety of ways. About 42% are using virtual office hours, about 100% are using email, 30% phone, some are using instant messaging and text messaging, and others online forums. And of course, we're teaching the same skills we have always taught, just flipped to the digital world. 8% digital citizenship, 17% digital resources, and 21% research. I'm gonna go back to my slides. So we wanted to give you guys 10 ways to help flip your library virtual. This was a great article we saw in Knowledge Quest, and it gave us some talking points, and we're going to showcase some digital libraries and hopefully give you guys some ideas to either make yours bigger or to start your virtual library. So the first suggestion was to build a virtual desk. This included either updating your landing page or having an Ask a Librarian button that will link directly to an open Google Meet. This could totally be accomplished through your Google Classrooms, particularly because those are the meets, to my understanding, that students can't enter without you being present, and they can't come back to without you being in them. I'm hopeful that this is the case, but one never knows. Kids will find a way around, but it would be a great way to be available to your students. So that's one idea. The next one is to be a reliable source of information. There is so much out there that isn't truthful about the virus, everything that's going on. They are getting misinformation, and we want to be that source of the reliable information. It's so important for our kids, particularly our high school kids. They understand so much, and we want them to have what's accurate. We don't want them to just see the memes and the opinion pieces. We want them to see the real news that's out there. And so be that reliable source of information for them. This one's my favorite one. Still be a book provider. We're just doing it in a different way. Get those books to your kids in the best possible way that you can. Be it providing them with the access to a digital library card for the county library or the Mandel Library, or through Mac and Via, or through Junior Library Guild. However best to serve these books out to your kids, do it. They need them. They need this escape. Be a part of assignments. This is a wonderful one. I've seen a whole bunch of our school librarians that are so shy and so reticent to do this, joining in and being a part of the Google Classrooms. They're going and teaching research. they are doing the best they can and getting in and trying to still be a part of their students' lives on a daily basis and helping their teachers with everything that they can help them with. So many of you are already doing this, running virtual book clubs. I think it's a great idea. There are tons of authors out there creating their own books online, reading their own books online, sharing things out there that you can share with your kids. What did I see? What is the district going to provide for getting books disinfected? Debbie, they're saying it should not be a problem. You just let them sit for a couple of days and then the virus should die. I have an article from, I think it's either AESL or SLJ or Library Journal that I can send you about the disinfecting of books, but it's really impossible to disinfect a book. We can't take a Clorox wipe to a book, unfortunately. But letting them sit for a couple of days when they get back before you teach them should allow the virus to die, and it should make them safe for you.
I'm asking this for a reason, Lisa. I spoke with someone at the Palm Beach County Library System, and they are actually disinfecting any of the books that are coming in through their slots now. And I asked them what they're using, and they said a very diluted mist or spray in a mist or a spray bottle with Clorox and water. And others are using hydrogen peroxide and water, but very diluted, very diluted.
All right, I'll find the article from, I think it was Library Journal, and send that out to everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amy, I love that you started a virtual poetry club on Google Classroom, and they're uploading their original poetry. If you guys haven't seen, Jason Reynolds is doing something through the Library of Congress. He's started writing, and he's challenging students with different prompts each week. And that might be a great thing to share out with your students. I will include that link in our newsletter. I'll include the Jason Reynolds piece from Library of Congress. Can you tell it's Thursday? But run those virtual book clubs. The kids just want to see you, right? They miss you. Those kids that come in your library on a regular basis, they want to see you. No, they can't come and hug you right now, but they totally want to see you. They miss you. All right. Please communicate with your administration. I know a lot of you guys already are, but administration doesn't always understand what we do when we're in our libraries, let alone when we're in our virtual libraries. So letting them know what you're doing is huge. They want to know that you're supporting their teachers and supporting their students. It's a great time. It's a great time to build that digital platform and showcase all that you can do with your students and with your faculty, and keep that going when we go back to school. This one I thought was great. I don't know if it needs to be weekly, but hosting a faculty meetup is a great idea. If the library is the hub of the school, keep making it the hub of the school. Why not host a gathering? It doesn't need to be for information. It doesn't need to be for anything else other than to just come say hi. We love our faculty and we want to see them. And this is a great way to see those people in person. And of course, read. I hope that we have a little bit more time on our hands to read those books that we're always putting on our constant, huge to be read pile. I know that as soon as my grad classes end in 2 weeks, I'm going to tackle that to be read pile. But this is a great time to read reviews, and make those lists for next year. Because we have the time, and SLJ is free right now. You can access all of their reviews, and it's a great great resource to use in making those lists for next year. It's always good to have a list of what you want to buy. And the last thing was to not overwhelm our staff. They are all, like we are, completely overwhelmed. And by creating a virtual library, you can get information out to them without overwhelming their inbox. We're trying to be cognizant of that with you guys and not send too many emails and just throw things up on Library Current so you guys can see it when it's up there and when you're ready to access it, as opposed to every 5 minutes, we've got a new piece of information that we want to share with you. It's all in one place, easy to access, and we're not going to overwhelm you. I'm seeing some great things come up in the chat. I know the FDR is going to be decided this weekend. And Rebecca, when is it going to be released? Is it the 24th, 25th?
It's released. All the reading lists will be released on the 23rd at 10 a.m.
Okay. And then, so that'll be out there soon. Unfortunately, our budget is frozen, so we won't be able to buy the Mac and Via collection as of yet. But, you know, maybe it's something that you guys could buy 1 or 2 and start to read and share between you guys. And Amy, by virtual library, do I mean a Google site or a Google Classrooms are okay? It has to be what works for you, right? There's no right or wrong answer to the virtual library. Some people are doing Google Classrooms. Other people are doing Google Docs. Some are doing Google Sites. I've seen Wix. I've seen Weebly. I've seen Spark sites. It has to be what works for you and what works for your school, because no two are the same. No two school populations are the same. We just wanted to give you some ideas about how to be accessible within that virtual library. And we are, of course, curating them on a new website. So if it's a Google Classroom, send me a screenshot of yours. I would love to curate it and send that out to leadership so they can see all those great things. I invited a couple people to come and talk about their virtual libraries to give you some ideas, because everyone is different. So I'm going to start with Rebecca Raddick at Atlantic's Virtual Library Services.
Okay, so I'm keeping 2 live docs. For this one that is on the screen right now is for all stakeholders. It has a lot of information for parents, students, and then down at the bottom, teachers. So any of that pretty much is shared with the world, shared publicly. And I just write when I update that. I have a separate document that's just for teachers that we shared out last week, Elizabeth and I. That's just the G Suite tutorial, short video links. If you want, I can take over presenting.
Absolutely, go ahead. I will stop presenting and you can take over. Go ahead.
So my Google Classroom is strictly for teachers. I keep those 2 docs pinned to the top, and then I just do really short updates of anything that might be relevant to them. And then we have our library's website, which I've actually embedded in my Destiny homepage. And then this has everything up to date. So if the public can find that document here, they can email me here. But I mean, that's just the way I keep everything. Like, this was our book club schedule for the year. This is all my database lessons that I give out so the kids can refer to it later. I have tutorials for Mac and Via. I have this password protected staff directory, which was really cool for the teachers, because as we get new people, they can go in and actually see what everyone looks like. And that is about it. Let's see, where's my meat?
Does anyone have any questions for Rebecca before I pull up the next one? Any questions about how she created anything, how it works on her campus?
Oh, my website is a Weebly. I do pay for it because you get a little more features like the password protected part. But Weebly is very easy because it's drag and drop. And if you keep the free version, it's just your url.weebly.com, which isn't a big deal.
So I think that's great. Amy was asking if you could teach her how to do that.
I'm not sure which one you mean, but you guys are welcome to have access. I can, let's see if I log in here right quick. Oh, sorry, you're not looking. I can copy the code to embed your website of your choice on your Destiny splash page if you like. I'll throw that in the chat once I get to it.
That's a great way to go. It's super easy to embed something in your Destiny splash page. It's a good way to go, and particularly that gets your kids going to Destiny. If they're used to going to Destiny to get your website, then they're going to check out Destiny and check out your offerings. So I like that. All right. So then I'm going to invite Hannah Budd on to share hers, and I will go back and present.
Okay, hey. I got the little one with me today.
It's okay. Look, my high schooler just came in to ask me if I wanted Chick-fil-A for lunch. Like, dude, I'm in a meet. All right, Hannah, here's your site up.
Okay, so I started with a Google Classroom, and I still actually have that running too. I'm posting on both. I just found like all the information that I needed to put on there was not organized very well for me. So I didn't know if it'd be super easy for the kids either. So I made a Google site. I can present as well if you want me to, Lisa, and go through it with them.
Sure. I will stop presenting and turn it over to you, Hannah.
Okay. 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 Can you guys see it?
Yep. All good.
Okay. So on the home screen, I just have any announcements. I follow a bunch of different things on social media, and whenever I see something, I just put it up there. I actually took the Ask a Librarian from, I can't remember who I got it from, sorry, but I put that on there because I thought that was an awesome idea. And then I'm just put all the websites that I'm finding for the teachers to use or students to use, and that's all on my homepage. I keep adding to it. So yesterday I just added this because I would want to feature books for the kids. So I'm trying to feature some books, the books that I'm reading and rating. And I put a book review. If any kid wants to review a book, I thought I would feature them on the page too, just to try to get them talking about books more. That's probably the thing I miss the most is just talking to the kids about books. Then I have all my reading resources that I'm trying to get out there for the kids, the different research. And this is something I focus on a lot in school is the research databases. So I wanted to make sure I put all that out there for them as well. I've got some tutorials and stuff on here since I can't actually be in their class to present it to them. I've made some videos for them as well. And then I do a lot with especially the IB kids writing their EEs and their IAs with their citations. So I wanted to make sure that information was up here too. So my presentations that I do in their classroom, I've put that up here for them to see. And I've sent it to the teachers as well, especially the ones that usually go to their classrooms. And I know that they've shared that in their own Google classrooms as well. So I think that's mostly it.
I know it's great. It does everything that you would do with your kids at school in a virtual way. So that all of those sites are curated on a page on Library Current. So you'll see there's a new page on Library Current. It's Virtual School Libraries in Action. And we want to feature all of yours. I know Allegra just sent me hers, and after the webinar, I'll be adding hers to the site. Elizabeth, you have to send me yours so I can add it to the site. We want to share these out there because you guys you really are doing, we keep saying it, but you're doing amazing things in your libraries, and it's phenomenal. People are moving outside their comfort zones. I'm going to share one before I get to the next one. That we were so proud. Alonso Torres at Eagles Landing. He is the least techie librarian I know, and he built this. It's amazing. His whole personality comes through on this website. I love that he added no pass needed, stop by anytime. He shared yesterday that he absolutely loves tacos. So therefore, his brutally honest book review of the week is taco themed. He did such a great job, and this is so out of his comfort zone. It's so great to see. This was one part of his site that I really liked. He was having kids do book recommendations, and he is curating them all into a slideshow and putting them up here. But the thing that he asked the kids to do is to tell their fellow students when the book gets good, so they know exactly when or how far they need to read before it gets to that good spot. And he didn't want them to give up on reading because he's not there to like encourage them in person. But I thought this was so great. And again, he's showcasing his students' work, making it visible. It's just wonderful. So I want to get back to one more high school one that I wanted to share with you guys. And we shared this with you last week. And Suzette, you are up. Suzette made this fantastic Spark video to introduce all of the virtual services she's offering. And then she could elaborate more on what's going on at Wellington.
I mean, I don't know, because these Google sites are so amazing. I'm like feeling really inept right now. I just set up a Google Classroom. So, did you know, I don't think you have my Classroom. Do you, Lisa?
I don't. So I'll stop sharing and you can share your Google Classroom.
Yay. Those are not as exciting as Google sites.
But if it's working for your kids, that's the most important thing.
Is it though? I mean,
yeah, it is. It really is the most important thing. That you reach your children is the best thing we can do for them.
All right. So can you guys can see the Google Classroom?
Yep.
Okay. So it's pretty simple. The stream I try to leave blank mostly, except for like, you know, the most important announcements, like Jason Reynolds being on Instagram. And then like in the classwork section is where I've kind of tried to organize, if kids are interested in a virtual book club, there's a form for them to fill out. Here is where there's all kinds of, you know, Mac and Via, JLG, the Palm Beach County Library System, some online graphic novels. I totally stole this from Christine Cannon. What else? Author read alouds, audiobooks and podcasts, some nonfiction stuff, digital literacy sources, and some stuff for teachers. It's kind of like a mix between for teachers and students. I threw some museums on there because what the heck. But yeah, I have how many people in the class? I don't know. Not as many as I'd like. I did get a couple kids to fill out the, I'm gonna stop sharing. I think I stopped, right? Yes. Yep. I did get a couple kids to figure out or to fill out the virtual library form, but that was like 4, which is nice. I mean, it's my, you know, core group of nerds, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to reach, more of the readers, you know. A lot of my readers were reading manga, so they're not quite logging into Mac and Via for that, you know.
No, but they might be able to find that at the public library, and you might be able to share that out with them. And that's one of the slides at the end of the presentation is Tuesday during our Topical Tuesday. We're changing it a week. Holly Ann and I are doing an AASL class on how to conduct a diversity audit of our collections. Mm-hmm. And that will be coming to you guys next year. But the public librarians are going to come talk to you about all of their resources and how to share them out with your kids, because they are available digitally and they can get a digital card. They don't have to go in. I got my digital card from the Mandel Library in like a couple of days. I signed up online, got my card. Their hoopla is different from the hoopla at the county library, and there's no reason they can't have 2 library cards. Why not? Sarah just asked Suzette if you could send the info about the online graphic novels. Elizabeth, I wish I knew why those digital cards weren't always a thing. They should always be a thing, and we're going to hope that they are a thing going forward. I think that we're going to see some changes in our practice based on what's happening right now. You know, Rebecca, it might be because of address verification, and they are asking us to come in after the fact and verify our addresses, but there's no reason you couldn't take a picture of your driver's license and upload it. That can totally be done. I wanted to share one comment from Elizabeth, that she made a conscious decision not to add a website quite yet because she has almost 400 kids in her Google Classroom, and she wants them to engage there and not throw too much at them. And I think that's really reasonable. You have to know your kids and know what works for them, which is why we've shared everything from websites to Google Classrooms to the Spark video to whatever works for you. It has to work for you and for your students. If it doesn't work for you, then it could be pretty, but it's not worth doing. It's not worth the effort. If it's not going to reach your kids, it's not worth the effort. I threw in the chat the link to the Jason Reynolds Grab the Mic. I'll go ahead and pull that up so you can see it. I think it might be kind of fun to share with your students. He is, if you haven't seen, the new ambassador for young people's literature, and he is really, really, really trying hard to reach the kids. Yeah, agreed, Elizabeth. Totally swoon. I get it. But he's doing some great stuff. Last week's post was create an award for yourself. It's awesome. And share this with your kids. You never know. You don't know who you might inspire by sharing this. Does anybody else have a site or a Google Classroom that we haven't spotlighted that wants to share it with the group? If you do, I will stop presenting and you can go ahead and present yours. And then send it to me so that I can put it on our page. And if you haven't seen our page, we have a ton. And you can see everything everyone's looks different. Everyone has different resources. And Elizabeth,
I can present mine if you want me to.
That would be great, Allegra. Let me stop presenting and you go ahead and present yours.
Okay, let's see. Okay.
There it goes.
Here we go. All right. So this was definitely outside of my comfort zone, but it was one of the first things I did. So we linked it to our parent and student page. And I also collaborated with my digital media teacher, so we have the news on here that the kids can watch. We have all the Google, it's just the same stuff that everybody else does, but it has all the information for teachers on here. And then obviously like the media center stuff. I put some links, obviously the free e-cards, NPR. I have the, well, I just finished the yearbook, but I put that link on there too. Some book suggestions. I have to get better with some of that, and I will definitely put Jason Reynolds on there. But this is our news that they're doing from home. And I don't know, tech support, I don't really remember. This is like 3 weeks in. Okay, this would just be like the digital tools. So I apologize because I was late coming into this meeting, but I'm going to stop presenting. But I sent you guys all the link so that you could take a look, and then Lisa, you can add that to your page.
I plan on it. It won't take me long to add to the page. And we want to share as much of the good news that's going on out and get it out there, because there is so much that's good that's going on right now. I mean, I know we don't always feel so great as we're like all holed up at home. We're worried about our students. We're worried about our personal kids. Our coworkers are not always cooperative, much like in the real world. So it's good to share the good news. Amy, definitely invite me to be a teacher in your Google Classrooms. You can use Adobe Spark for just about anything you need to create in the correct size. I created the little graphic on, back to sharing. Oh. So this little graphic, it took me about 5 minutes to create in Adobe Spark. And I've got places for everybody's, websites. I want to make sure that, but I wanted to have something cute launching soon with our little hashtag. It did not take long at all. Super easy to do. Sharon, I would definitely use Adobe Spark or Canva to create some great graphics. Yeah, Spark is easy and very sparkly. Another great source for photos is Unsplash. I've gotten a lot of my photos from Unsplash, something different. But I feel like Spark makes it easy to be a graphic designer, and I am not the person in my family with the artistic talent. I got none. I can read a book really well. I have zero artistic talent, but yet I was able to create that graphic, and it's helped me move outside my comfort zone and create some eye-catching graphics. Let me get back to our presentation. So you've seen our new site, our new page. I'm going to pull up the, so we haven't added anything yet, and that's okay. We wanted to have that available to you to share with. Any tips you have for putting a virtual library together, put them here. It could be an article, it could be whatever works for you. And if you want to showcase your library here, then people can have another way of seeing your libraries. Let's see, go back to presenting. We are working on getting a simple domain. This bit.ly will still work, but we're working on getting librarycurrent.palmbeachschools.org. Hopefully that will launch soon. And we have linked this site to the media specialist ribbon on the hub. So this site is easily accessible from the hub now as well. And I think this will be a great session for everyone to come to. We're going to welcome the public librarians in to discuss their digital resources. They might have some other ideas that we haven't thought of as a way to get the books out to their kids. And then, of course, we'll have another webinar next week at 11. Holly Ann and I are trying to figure out what the end of the school year is going to look like for you guys. We know we've been getting lots of questions about inventory. Unfortunately, if it isn't already done, it's probably not going to be done this year. The ladies are at work curating all the data, and we're going to come up with some kind of the end of the year form like we had last year so that we can talk about collection development plans and all of the things that are really important that we have the time to focus on now that we don't always have the time to focus on when we're sitting in our libraries. With that, that's the end of my presentation, but I'm going to open it up. You guys can just turn on your mics and chat with each other, problem solve with each other, have this time together just to say hi. You don't have to all stay muted. Anything you want to share?
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, I've been trying to help a couple of our English teachers get access to full-length, like really good quality Shakespearean productions. So I was trying to see if anyone else has that issue, if anyone else has had success. I was looking in Discovery Education, and I see a few, I don't know, there's segments. What I really, really like is Digital Theater Plus product, and I've been talking to them about, but it's really expensive. It's like $3,700 for full access, but wow. it has criticisms. Like for our IB theaters kids, it would be fabulous, and for our English department. I did find out that they're in negotiations with our district, though, Lisa. So I was hoping Holly Ann would be in here so I could ask her for any updates. I guess through Eric Jorgensen.
That's Ed Tech. email me email me the link, and I'll reach out to him and see what I can find out.
Okay, because it's a really great product, and I just wondered if other high schools have the same request from your teachers.
Sarah just said she knows her teachers want Digital Theater Plus.
It's really amazing.
Yeah,
I looked at it this morning. I actually took a tour with Tom from London this morning online, and he showed me the features of the product. It's really amazing. I think all of our teachers, our English teachers in the high school level could use it. I know when I was an English teacher in high school, I would have loved it. So I hope that it's something the district will really consider for all of us.
yeah.
So it doesn't end up at our IB schools, which, I could probably get it for our school, but it would be nice if our entire district had it.
It would be nice.
Isn't it like watching a Shakespeare play and reading it part of one of the ACE exams? I feel like it's on like the ACE Lit exam or something like that, where they read a Shakespeare play, but they also have to watch it. So I feel like that would apply to the ACE classes as well, at least the upper level.
Good point.
Right. And I think all the high schools are offering those ACE classes, right? I don't think there is a high school in the county that doesn't offer ACE classes.
Right.
Right. Well, at every high school, at every, 9, 10, 11, 12, they all teach Shakespeare. Right. Well, they used to back in the day. I assume they still do. But there's much more on that. I mean, I have the Excel spreadsheet of, I forget how many thousands of, there's 450, actually I took a note, so there's 450 productions on there. They actually go and physically take some film at live performances. BBC is in there, which is amazing. And they also have audio theater. So it's a wonderful product. I'll share the link out, and maybe people can take a look at it, and we can try to encourage our district to provide that for our collections and for our teachers and students.
That would be
right now with virtual
absolutely.
Learning. Our teacher she needs it right now so she can continue. She was showing a DVD before, and she can't show a DVD from home. So
right.
She wants to continue with the same product, and they have the same product because it's a Royal Shakespeare Company, which is a phenomenal resource.
Absolutely. The only thing I've seen so far for Shakespeare was teaching books had some audio versions of it. Not the same, of course, as watching it, right. But at least there are some audio versions, full versions of those things. And I'll find that link and send it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I remember in high school, I'm going to date myself. My 10th grade English teacher played us a record of Macbeth. But I remember listening to it and reading along, and it was so good. And you sort of, if you closed your eyes, you sort of felt like you were watching. It's not quite the same, but it might be.
Yeah, but plays are meant to be viewed.
Of course. They are meant to be viewed.
Hear it, you miss so much. You have to see the production. That's Shakespeare was meant to be performed, not actually read originally. So absolutely. It's so much easier for our kids to understand it when they're watching it, and they can not get lost in the old English. I know that used to trip me up. It was so hard to decipher what they were saying in amongst the language that's a little bit archaic. And our kids are even further removed from that. Suzette was saying that her teachers dropped Shakespeare because they moved online. I know. It's too bad.
And I saw Rebecca Raddick shared a really good article about not sharing your courses online exactly the way you do. Everything has to look different. I'll copy it and paste it again. It's something good for us about not overdoing it in digital times. We want everything to be perfect for our kids, and we want to be everything that we can for them. And it's so hard when we're not able to see them, be with them. Yeah, Sarah, you're saying your school's adding ACE Theater next year, so that would be great for them. Amy's going to send me the link. I will reach out to Eric and find out what the status is with that. I'm glad you got one free access, Amy, but budgets are frozen right now, and it's presenting a problem. Mm-hmm. We wanted to buy some more Mac and Via ebooks to beef up our collection, and we were told no, just nothing.
Well,
so we're trying to.
Yeah, at least the 1 week free access for my students and teachers, they can finish up what they had started with Shakespeare. So that's what we're going to do. But you're right. And if we wanted to go forward, we wouldn't be able to even purchase anything right now. So.
Right. Although through your foundation, you probably could. Right. And your school is lucky that you can, because the foundation monies are not budget monies, and they are completely outside the schools. So like the schools with foundations could do that, or PTOs, or outside school district money.
And when I was speaking with Tom, I did tell him, I said, right now I have a vendor who's providing me free access to ebooks for my students. And next year I'm going to buy books from that vendor. So I'm like, if you could provide something for our district for free, maybe next year, we could work something out. So
absolutely.
Trying to work deals, man.
We have to work every angle we can to do what's best for, you're always out there doing what's best for, all of you guys are always out there doing what's best for your kids. So, and Elizabeth just threw up 2 books that are really great time for personal reading right now, if you have the time, are Happiness by Niall Williams, and is it And the House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. And I am really looking forward to having some time for reading as soon as these classes wrap up. Elizabeth can attest, one of ours is a little much. Yeah, he's a lot. We are taking basic information sources, and it's a lot of busy work. So once we get past that, I can enjoy some reading. So if anyone has anything else they would love to share, feel free to unmute your mic, share, ask away. I'm so glad you guys come week after week. We love seeing your faces and getting together with you guys. We appreciate you coming. Holly Ann is so sad she couldn't make it today. She loves coming to spend time with you guys too. Something came up in the program planner managers meeting that she had to take care of with Nolan, and his schedule unfortunately is impossible right now. Debbie, go ahead. I see that you raised your hand.
I did. I did. Really, it's for Amy. Whatever you find out today, let me know, because when I got off of that other, out of the other classroom, I got a message on Facebook that the area office has not contacted them, or they're not answering the phone there either. So I'll email Dr. Hoffman and let him know that, but you might get more valuable information today. So.
Okay, I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say good luck to Allison. Allison Moe, you have your interview tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yay.
Yay. Oh, you're going to rock it, Allison.
Saturday?
Well, I'm freaking out. Saturday's the actual interview at 10 a.m., which means I have to get up really early to do my hair and my face and all that stuff. And then this afternoon, I have the video. They do like a little video montage with pictures and stuff that they usually show at the ceremony. So that's this afternoon. So again, right after I finish grading and doing a few things, I got to go do my hair and put on makeup and dress. Take off my gator shirt, I guess. So, but thank you. I appreciate it.
You guys are going to rock it. You're going to be great. Win this thing. One of us needs to win this thing.
Thanks. I just wish it wasn't virtual, but I'll get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's better to be virtual than not at all.
That's true.
They took the the Pathfinder Awards virtual as well.
Yes. Yep.
And I guess apparently graduation.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, I know. I'm just hopeful that all of our kids will get their caps and gowns, and we can take a picture of them next to the virtual graduation.
I ordered cap and gown online last night, so I can take mine at home.
Yeah,
I need to do that, particularly because the cap and gown that they had at the senior picture site was too small on him. It's like up to his forearm. Poor kid. So I feel for all of your seniors. I hope you're able to provide some comfort to them, because it's instructional continuity support.
We can't read
Debbie's
that.
holding up something for Lisa. It's the instructional continuity support. It looks like she printed it out.
Oh.
Oh, goodness.
Mm.
Oh, goodness. Well, I am grateful for all of you for coming and sharing and being a part of this community every week. We love seeing you. We love seeing having you participate. I am always amazed by you guys. So with that, have a great week, and we will see you hopefully on Tuesday for Topical Tuesday, and of course next Thursday.
Lisa,
Yeah?
I just wanted to add,